Hello everyone. Um, Before I really start into this video, I want to talk about, I created a Facebook page, right? So, more of like a community thing. I kind of want like just to bring all the community together, or everyone who follows me or something like that, and so I created a Facebook page, and I think it's going to be very, very useful. So people can message me on there, and people can see the posts and see when I upload and all that, and people can talk to each other too. Kinda. I don't really know how it works that well, but I don't know. I just want to bring the community together, really. So that's why I created the Facebook page. And a lot of people don't really have a lot of social medias, and I have like all of them. I have Snapchat, I have Instagram, Twitter, all of that. And so I just wanted all of them. So I have everything now. Facebook page I think is going to be very useful. So all of my social medias will be in the description, and you can follow me on there if you would like. It's up to you, but I have a good idea with the Facebook page. Have it like mental illness based, so people can ask me questions there, which I think will be extremely useful and a lot easier. Because a lot of people ask me questions on Snapchat, and it's really hard. Sorry, it's really hard for me to respond or talk about anything mentally ill related because the message usually disappears. But yeah, so all of my social medias will be down in the description if you feel like following. Okay, but anyways, back into this video. This video is going to be about my experience with mental hospitals. I know I've talked briefly about mental hospitals, and it's been a very while ago that I actually talked about them. But I've never been in an adult mental hospital. I've only been in, I don't know what it's called, teenagers. People who just aren't over 18, okay? And I'm 20 now, almost 21, so, which is really weird. I'm getting old, kinda. So I feel like that, I'm getting old. But my experience with mental hospitals are actually kind of good and kind of bad. I have a very, I don't know what kind of relationship I have with mental hospitals. Good and bad, for sure. Like, I can say they are not fun. It's not fun to be in a mental hospital, but it can be very useful. Like, every time I've gotten admitted into the mental hospital, it's been because I have no idea, like schizophrenia, panic attacks, all that. So every time I had one of those and I had to go to the hospital, I had to go to the emergency room to a hospital. I had to go to the emergency room, and then we would talk like, okay, you're mentally ill and stuff, whatever, like you need to go to the hospital. And every single time, it just kind of weirds me out because they take you on a stretcher, and they take you in an ambulance. I don't know why, but that's just really weird to me. That's extremely odd. I remember back then I was so mentally messed up in the head that every time I would go into the ambulance, I would think the driver of the ambulance is gonna, they're going to just like drive into water, and I'm not gonna be able to get out. I'm gonna die. That's what I thought every time I was in the ambulance. So they would get me there, and most of the time it was really late at night. It was really late, like 12. And so they admit me and everything, and then I go to my room. But the first two times I went to I went to a mental hospital 3 times total. Each time I stayed for about a week. The first time I had no idea what to expect. I couldn't have shoes. I couldn't wear shoes, which is really cool, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't really wear shoes anyways. You can't have anything you can't have laces. Like I remember, because back then I used to always wear pajamas also. Like that's all I wore. Even back then, that's all I wore. And they would like the things on like the strings there, like you can't have those, so they would cut them off. Um, and my room, I had this is what I disliked the most because I think it's not very good. I think it's very unhealthy for people to be doing this in a hospital. Is you're in a room by yourself, and there's nothing in your room. There's no television. There's no radio. There's nothing. Nothing. You can't have a phone. You can't have anything. So what I think about that is really bad is that you're sitting in a room in silence. You're sitting in a room in silence with nothing else to do. That's really bad to me because if you're schizophrenic, and if you can't keep your mind occupied at all, or if there's no distractions from the illness that you're dealing with, then that's just going to drive you more insane. And that's what it did for me. It just made me go completely insane more and more. And I had hated it. And that was the first two times I went, there was nothing in my room. And could not sleep. I was hallucinating constantly. I was freaking out. My heart rate was over 160 constantly. It was just awful. And then I was on the medication, which was even worse. Because back then I was on Risperdal, like, I think it was 9 or 12 milligrams, which is way over the max dose. So I was just out of my mind. I was not myself. I wasn't even basically a person. I was a zombie, which is just not fun. And I think it's like, there's a lot of bad things about a mental hospital, but there's also a lot of good things. Is being around people who have the same problems as you do, or has the same, like, they're there too. They are there too. And you're there. So it's nice to be around people who are in the same boat as you, and it's nice to be around psychiatrists, therapists, nurses. That's what I liked, but I don't really like people that much, so I don't know. I really enjoyed I really liked the nurses every time I went. They care a lot, which is surprising. And I'm trying to remember more, but another thing I really hate about another thing I really hate about mental hospitals is that the groups. That's probably one of the things I hate the most about mental hospitals is groups, and having because you're doing that all day. You're doing groups all day, and that's the most annoying thing that I've ever had to deal with. Because I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking. When I'm mentally not unstable, I'm not going to talk about anything. I don't want to be around people. I don't want to be talking about my problems to other people that I don't know, even though I do that here. But that's to help people. I'm not helping people when I'm in the mental hospital. So, groups is the worst. But my favorite experience in the mental hospital was the third time. The third time I was in the mental hospital was extremely nice. But the thing is, like, when you're in a mental hospital, like, time runs so slow, it feels like. Like, when I was in there, it felt like I was in there for, like, a month or a year. It's like time was just ticking so slowly. And it's probably because I was just thinking about it all the time. I wanted to get out of there. I really wanted to get out of there, and I really disliked being there. So time was just, like, so slow, and I hated it more than anything. But I had a lot of good experiences. I did yoga. What the hell? Okay. Anyways, that was weird. You guys probably heard that. I did yoga, and this is a pretty funny experience. While I was doing yoga in the hospital, third time, I started like smelling blood, like just very strong as hell, like just blood. And I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Because I don't really like the smell of blood. So it was like, I was like kind of freaking out because I didn't know why I was smelling blood. I was just blood. So I was like, either I'm like hallucinating this or I'm bleeding internally. That's what That's what I was thinking. I was bleeding internally, and that's why I'm smelling blood. So I started freaking out about that, and I stopped doing yoga, which is fun, I guess. But I'm pretty stable now, I guess. Not too well. I mean, this is probably, I don't know. But I'm doing pretty well. 400 milligrams of Seroquel, which is not too bad. I actually function a lot better on 400 milligrams than 300. Feel a lot better on I feel a lot better on 400 milligrams of Seroquel. Extremely good. So everything's going pretty well, and mental hospitals, I'm sure, like most people who watch my videos have been in mental hospitals, and they understand how bad it can be. All I can say is I'm just really glad I wasn't in a mental hospital when I was when it was like back in the 50s, because that would be awful. Lobotomies and electroshock therapy, that's just awful. Like, they need to work on a lot of shit, dude. They need to work on a lot of shit. And just anything mental health related, they need to work on a lot of stuff. Work on the hospitals. They need to work on treating people with mental illness a lot better and understand them more. There's not even that many psychiatrists nowadays, which is sad. But anyways, that's about it for this video. As I said earlier, you can follow me on all my social medias. They'll be down in the description. And I hope everybody has enjoyed this video. I will see you all next Monday. Bye.